I share that in our candidates, they are of the highest level of ethical conduct. And that's all I'll say about that. So I'm going to turn this over to our executive director for the GT Commonwealth PAC, Jackie Colback. Madam Chair, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you. So next on our slate is Judge Harry Smail, who hails from Westmoreland County. Judge Smail has seen quite a wide variety of cases in his tenure at the Common Pleas Court. So I'd like to introduce and turn over to Judge Harry Smail.
Thank you, Jackie. Good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to speak with you. I humbly want to thank GT and this organization and each and every one of you throughout the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania that have reached out to me, have helped me, even in small deeds, and those also that were contributory to the resources that we need, as well as the efforts on the street. It is much appreciated. My background, just so that the individuals understand where I come from, is a Grove City College graduate. At the time when we beat the Department of Education and went totally unfunded from federal dollars, we are in a position where we gained a unique education that is only similar to that of Hillsdale College. I later on became a probation and parole officer, supervised 225 criminals, in which we went out and actually would bring them back into custody. While I was doing that, I went to law school at night for 4 years, 5 nights a week. So I'm a self-made individual. Nothing was handed to me. And I am back into the determined field that I need to contribute back to public service, not only to serve 356,000 people in Westmoreland County, but to serve 13 million people across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. That being said, I believe that Maria Batista and I are your law and order judges. We are your pro-business judges. There are 2 available seats on the Superior Court. Right now, the way it sits is 2 of the judges that are leaving. One already left, Jackie Shogan, and the other is Judge John Bender, who will be leaving. They are 2 Republicans. Right now, we hold the edge of 8 Republicans to 7. If we will lose either of those, we will not have the edge that the Republicans currently have in the 15-judge complement. That court gets about 8,000 cases per year. So it is the hardest working intermediary court in the United States of America as far as the cases that it gets. It's normally heard in cases in 3-judge panels, or it could be in bank with 9 judges. That's how it operates. It is every single case that is not government related that comes in for appeal. Excuse me. It is oftentimes the court of last resort, meaning that the Supreme Court is selective in what they take, and they only take between 150 and 600 cases per year, meaning that your rulings that come out of the Superior Court oftentimes are your final stop. It handles all criminal cases, all family law cases related to the whole myriad of divorce, custody, child support, PFAs, children and youth services, adoptions, guardianships. All of that is covered. But in the civil arena, it handles all contract law and all issues between corporations that are private individuals, municipalities in regards to certain issues that carry over into contractual law with vendors and other areas. So it is the entire gambit. I have 17 years in private practice. And in that time period, I was a litigation attorney as a result of coming out of Duquesne. And I've handled the first stand your ground case in which I received a dismissal of all the charges for Dr. Chip Gallo, if you know him out of FOAC, who defended himself from an aggressive driver on an open roadway. And that set the standard for stand your ground and the expansion of the castle doctrine. As a judge, I had the case of Guston versus Springfield Armory, where there was a move to try to usurp the supremacy clause and the federal government protection of firearms manufacturers by trying to say a perfectly operational gun that was used, unfortunately, in a accidental shooting was defective so that it could go to products liability in all states. If that should happen, and it is now going before the PA Supreme Court, I will tell you that that will put all the production companies for firearms out of business if a fully operational firearm is removed from the market as a result of end user litigation, which is in effect getting rid of your Second Amendment right by way of economic and legal pressure. To reflect where I'm coming from by saying that I'm the law and order candidate, I want to indicate to you my endorsements. I have the Pennsylvania State Troopers Association, the FOP Association for the entire state. I have the individual FOPs, 56 out of Greensburg, FOP 39 out of the Alakiski Valley, FOP 23, which covers the southeastern area, which a lot of you are familiar with, Ligonier, Latrobe, and Derry, Pennsylvania. I do want to reflect, I also got the County Detectives Association for the entire state, the International Police Association for the entire state of Pennsylvania, the Sheriff's Association endorsement, the Corrections Officers endorsement for the entire state, FOAC, Firearms Owners Against Crime endorsement. I also am a very pro-oriented business judge because if it's not a violation of ordinance, I do not believe in capping or removing the ability of laissez-faire capitalism to be permitted to operate within the borders of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And that includes all the gas and oil industry that has been suppressed, which could have turned our entire Commonwealth around and made us a profitable state in which every single family would have the means to provide for their family. They would have all these people that are unfortunately stuck in homelessness in these bigger communities, the opportunities to work. And that all has been destroyed essentially and removed to a minimal by Governor Tom Wolf, and it's continuing with Josh Shapiro. I have ruled in favor of the allowance for these operations to commence so that they can develop, because I do think it's coming back. It will turn around. The economy is going to reflect that. We are going to have a recession and a correction. And when that occurs, we need vital industry to keep this Commonwealth moving forward. So I got the endorsement of the Chamber of Commerce of Pennsylvania. We are pending with the PA Institute of CPAs. I got the endorsement of Kim Ward, the Senate Pro Tempore, and also that of the state Republican Party. So that being stated, we have worked endlessly to provide you with examples of why I should and will be your next Superior Court judge.
Thank you, Judge Smail. And I'd like to ask you, can you give us the name of your website?
Sure, yes. It's votejudgesmail.com. Very simple. And it is reflected there. There is an opportunity on there to consider resources, to get information to us, to communicate with us. And I individually will get back to you, or my team will. We are currently moving around the state, distributing signs, palm cards, information. I, too, like each candidate in this group, will be on the streets and in our vehicles every single day through the last second of the last moment of November the 7th. We are out there and available to you. We do need information of where you need us to be, to meet with the most people we possibly can in these remaining days. So again, it's votejudgesmail.com. And there you also can reflect and connect into my record as a judge. I'm a judge now for 9 years and 3 months. I've had over 100 appeals, none of them reversed. And that goes to indicate my kind of opinions that I do not legislate from the bench. I enforce the law and the statutory code. I am ready to be boots on the ground, to be a judge of judges, which is what the Superior Court is.
Thank you, Judge Smail. And again, I'd like to reiterate, if these campaigns don't fund themselves, it's very important that all of us get behind these candidates. And whether it's time, whether it's treasure, it's just so critical that we get our judicial candidates elected. Thank you again, Judge Smail.
What I would encourage is just to each and every one of us to reflect on what can we do between now and the close of the polls on election day to run that vote count up. Is it reaching out to a neighbor or a family member that that just looks, just really doesn't vote, especially doesn't vote in this cycle. We know those numbers can be pathetically low in this cycle. So if we can bend that curve by just 4 or 5%, that's what I call a landslide. And so the opportunity to make a difference has never been greater. I don't ever want to suppress the vote in any way. I just encourage people to vote the right way. And the right way is the Republican way with what this country is enduring and facing right now, not just on the border issue, which is huge, but certainly crime and restoring safety, law and order to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And so I'm just really thankful for everyone, and I just encourage everyone to go out and continue to continue to do everything you can for the days. It is making a difference. We've got county commissioner races. We've got school board races. We've got, there are just a lot of races out there in the Commonwealth, local races that is important that we cross the finish line and help those individuals. But everything you do to help these 4 judicial candidates statewide, trust me, that helps down ballot as well. So by helping these candidates, you're helping all Republican candidates throughout the Commonwealth. So that we can make positive impacts on both the politics and the policies of the Keystone State, of the great state of Pennsylvania. And so once again, thank you for being a part of our call this morning.